health matters, but we found out it's National Siblings Day, so I wanted to do a little thing with Holly and Kayla. Queen's Talk is made up of myself, our special guests, and 2 sisters, so I thought that was really cool. We got a picture of Holly and Kayla. Check them out. That's when they were little, and then now. Aren't they adorable?
I feel like Reagan looks a lot like this right now.
Absolutely. Y'all look a lot alike.
Yeah.
So I thought it was really neat. You know, you guys are really close. Like, super close. You work together. You're always together. You help, each other with family and things like that. So I wanted to ask you, what do you feel like keeps you guys so close?
We both had kind of a difficult childhood. Our parents divorced when we were young, and we lived apart for like 10 years in different states even, and so we just kept in constant communication with each other so they could see each other every day. And then in 2017 our grandma died, and we were both very close to our grandma, and we both took care of her. And my grandma actually had like 60 grandkids, great-grandkids, and great-great-grandkids.
Wow.
And we were the only 2 that were there for her. And so she was always very blatant that she loved us more than everybody else. And so I think just spending time with our grandma was something that kept us close to me.
So it brought y'all together.
Yeah.
And then, of course, working together.
Yeah, we work together. I take care of Reagan every day. We're always together.
Yeah, they are.
Mom number 2 to Reagan.
Yes. So how many tattoos, matching tattoos do y'all have?
3.
They have 3 matching tattoos. I thought that was really
Reagan's
cool.
birthday.
Oh,
you
this
have,
one.
it's on my foot, but we had a sister who passed away from a brain tumor before we were born, but it kind of like represents like her in heaven, and then like how me and Taylor and each other's like bonds.
That's precious. I mean, I love that.
We have her name on our feet.
Reagan's name?
No,
our
grandma.
sisters.
Oh, okay.
And then we kind of have.
We both have doves for our grandma.
Yeah.
They're
I
different,
have the
but
dove here, and she's getting her dove on her back.
That's really cool. Family's important, and it's sad, a lot of times they grow apart, so I thought it was really neat that you guys are still very much close. So what was it like growing up with each other?
Well, like Holly said, we didn't really grow up. We did grow up with each other, but I lived in North Carolina for 4 years, and then I moved back, and she moved up to Morgantown to go to school. So we didn't really grow up with each other until.
See, that surprised me.
Yeah.
I thought you guys were like always together forever, like.
Until I was about 16 and she was like 21, she moved back here and I moved in with her.
Right.
So then for the past 9 years, I guess we've like grown up together.
Gotcha.
We've been inseparable really since then.
Yeah.
Even
we don't have cousins or anything like that. It's just us.
Yeah.
So all my family's out of state. So yeah, I know I've just got my siblings, and even one of my siblings is out of state. But yeah, you guys are always together and helping each other out. So I thought that was really neat. So I've got 4 siblings. I'm one of 4. We're all 3 years apart, which wasn't. I don't know if it was planned. I don't think it was, which is kind of different. There's 4 kids, like literally 3 years apart.
Yeah.
My brother's the oldest, Matt. Then Crystal, she's next, and then Amanda, and then me. I'm the baby, and my brother was 9 years older than me, so we didn't technically grow up together either. I mean, we did, but we were in different spots. But me and Mandy were always very, very close. She always like mothered me and took care of me.
I feel like she still does.
She does. When we did our rehearsal, she said something that she mothered Kayla, and they said something about whenever Holly was at Morgantown, and I asked him if they partied down, and she said no, that she wouldn't let Kayla, and that's hilarious because my sister would have probably, Mandy, if you're on here, you probably tried to tell me to stop, but I didn't listen. But we all have. It's crazy too. Like there's 4 of us. And we all have similar personalities, but very different.
Yeah.
You know, and that's really kind of cool.
We're very similar.
You guys are.
A lot of people think we're twins.
Yeah.
We've gotten into places for free because they're like, oh, you're twins. Yeah, just come on in.
That's precious.
Has that happened to your twins?
Not yet, no. But people stare at them and stuff.
Yeah.
But no, that
Oh,
hasn't happened yet.
I wanted to tell them the story. When we were first opening this place, we had like a grand opening, and Jenny had her twins here, and we had Bentley here, and the kids were like running around playing, and Bentley didn't realize they were twins, because they would be like, one was in the back, one was in the front, and he would walk in here and be like, how did you get up here before me? Or like one kid would run around the building, he was like, how did you have on a different shirt?
And then he called them the Natch babies, didn't he, or
Yeah.
something like that? I thought that was cute. That happens a lot. People think that they're just like one person, and then you can see that they're staring. But yeah, me and Amanda we don't think we look alike, but we've got that before.
I think
You
you
look
like.
You do?
Two besides the hater.
Yeah, well, we've got the whole twins thing. I think maybe it was just one day. I don't know, but you know, growing up with siblings, I don't have it any other way, and I'm thankful for all of them. We're all different. We all, you know, we do good. So I think that's it for that. Let's get into the meat and potatoes of the episode. So this one was on we're on mental health awareness.
When I graduated high school, I went straight to WVU and got a bachelor's degree in social work and psychology. And then actually just last year, I finally finished my master's degree in counseling psychology. So this topic was really important to me, and I don't work in the field, but it is something that I like to discuss, and I was very excited that we got our guest to come today who works in this field.
Yeah, I was really excited about it too. Yeah, this is something that touches all of us, whether you deal with it on a daily basis or if it's something situational, anxiety, depression, things like that. So without further ado, we're going to invite, Kayla's going to step out and she's going to help man the camera and the comments and everything, and then we're going to welcome our guest, Leslie Lilly. Come on in. Thank you. Yeah, right there. All right, so thank you for coming. We're really happy to have you. We were talking about wanting to do this subject, and I guess did you put a post out and then you've seen it?
I did.
That was really cool because we want to have a professional side on this, you know what I mean? And I know Polly's got her degree, and so that's just it's really awesome. So we're just going to ask you a couple questions back and forth. Can you tell us what your title is and what you do in your field?
Yes. My name's Leslie, obviously. I am a family nurse practitioner for Beckley Psychiatric Services in Beckley. We see anything ranging from substance abuse, anxiety, bipolar, depression, seasonal depression, postpartum, you name it, we take care of it. I've been there for almost 2.5 years now.
Wow, that's awesome.
So for me, as someone who suffers with chronic anxiety and I do take medication for it, it was embarrassing, and I went back and forth saying, like, do I even want to say this? But I think it's important, even if this video makes one of you reach out and decide that you need help, then it's worth, you know, me coming out about it. So what would you say to somebody who is kind of scared to reach out?
It makes you feel very vulnerable. It's a very taboo topic. I have personally suffered from depression and anxiety. You know that you're not alone. Definitely reach out, get help. Don't let it sit and fester.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like that's what I did for a while. And then it was just like so bad, I was like, I have to do something.
Right. And I mean, I had postpartum. It's not something it's not my proudest moment. It happened, I conquered, and then here we are.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of people think if you have postpartum depression, then if you admit it, you're saying, I don't love my child. And that is not it at all.
No, it is not.
It's just a feeling. I didn't have it with the twins, but I had it with Dane, and it's just like, is it a chemical thing?
Mhm.
It's just a chemical thing.
Like people say it's all baby blues, and it makes you feel like you're a terrible mother for just feeling sad, and you don't know why you feel sad.
Right. Yeah. That's awful, but I'm glad you got through that, and then it helped you. You wanted to help other people, so
Right.
that's really awesome.
Right.
I think we're here now.
What do you like and dislike about your job?
I love being able to help people, getting to know people, and just overall making them feel better. The one part I don't like, there's actually two after I thought about it. I don't like the insurances having to jump through their hoops in order to make somebody feel better.
Yeah.
And then, some of the situations that people have had to go through in order to receive help. I mean, sexual abuse is very prominent in our area, and it's not something that's widely talked about.
Yeah.
So you mentioned that factor earlier, and so she said that it's in a comparison to different states, it's higher in West Virginia, and I was like, really?
And then you have these backwoods hollers. I'm from a holler, so let's not judge. And I mean, it's a family thing. Like, this has been going on for years, and we just kind of push it down because we think it's normal, and it's not normal.
No, and it's very damaging, right?
Yes.
So that's just something that you don't like to see. It's hard on you. Yeah. I feel like it would be hard for me to work through
My
that.
heart goes out through these people, and I'm just like, I hate that you had to go through that, but I'm glad you're here. Let's get through it and move on.
Yes.
Yeah. When we were talking about this earlier, I saw this thing on Facebook this morning actually that said, don't tell your daughter to stop wearing shorts in front of Uncle Randy. Stop letting Uncle Randy come around your daughter.
Yes.
Right.
That is so important. Like, as a parent, it's your job to protect your children.
Absolutely.
And I know obviously that's not always avoidable,
Mhm.
but if you feel like you have to make your daughter change her behavior, that's not cool.
Right.
She should be allowed to be who she is. Or son,
Yeah, but just not fall into those, family, what is that, generational
Yep.
stuff.
Yeah.
So that's, like, I guess that's a total different topic. It enrages me. It makes me want to put
Makes
my
me-
kids in a bubble.
Right.
But, it's out there, and we gotta be aware of that. So what motivated you to work in this field?
I always grew up wanting to work in healthcare. I was always fascinated by psychiatry. Even through my nursing degree, I would do electives that related to psychiatry. But when I finished my nurse practitioner school, the position just kind of snatched me up, and the environment is amazing. I absolutely love what I do, being able to help, and it's evolving. I mean, things are always changing. It's fun.
And it's needed.
It's
So you
very
feel like,
needed.
do you feel like, I think this is important, that you would, in what you're doing, you feel like you have a purpose,
I do.
and you're helping.
Yes.
So that's awesome.
So for anybody who's interested in how to be a nurse practitioner, what was the schooling like for that?
When I graduated with my nursing degree, I graduated with my bachelor's, so I had my 4-year degree.
And so that's like an RN?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I had my RN, and then I went back to school for 2 years to get my master's. It's a master's degree, and then you have to do a board exam, a national board exam.
And do you do clinicals and stuff like that, I'm sure?
Yeah, while you're in school. Yep.
Yeah.
You have different rotations to do.
So that's not bad, 6 years. I mean, I've been 6 years and I don't have a title that cool.
That's an awesome title. I was like,
Yeah.
wow. That's really, I'm sure you're very proud of that.
I am.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Um,
So what is your favorite therapy methods?
Retail therapy for sure. Retail or food.
come to the hive, right?
Yeah.
Right. I mean, they have tons of cute stuff here.
TheBevoKeeps.com.
yeah.
I don't actually sit in on the therapy sessions. We do have licensed therapists, counselors that do amazing work. One of our newest counselors, Carla, is amazing. She's just fun to talk to. We do a lot of cognitive behavioral therapy where it kind of like retrains your brain to how to cope better. We give coping mechanisms. We kind of work through things.
That's really cool. It's like that's a big long, like there's probably all kinds of different therapy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, but retail's my favorite.
Yeah. You get to go in, get a little something cute, feel better, right?
Exactly.
Awesome. Without telling us specifics to protect identity, can you tell us a story about one of your hardest cases or a decision you had to make that was difficult?
Decision that's difficult. Any psychiatry medicine, making a decision to start is difficult because it's not clear cut and dry. You have about a gazillion different medicines to choose from, and it's finagling around to see what works best for that person. I was terrified to treat bipolar disorder when I first started because if you start them on an antidepressant, you can put them over into a manic phase, which can be very detrimental because they
Really?
get very impulsive.
Okay.
Mhm.
So you just feel like you're kind of making a decision that's going to affect their
Yes.
life big time.
Yes.
Well, it's cool that you think about it like that too, because I'm sure people just get in a rhythm and they don't really care. So that's really showing that you really care about your
And
patients.
I'm constantly looking stuff up, like,
Yeah.
and if I don't know, then I'll tell the patient, you know, hey, let me get right back to you. Let me go talk to the doc, because I mean, this is their livelihood. This is their mentality. This is how they function. Very important. So,
Absolutely.
And I think it's important when you go to a doctor, and it might take them, you know, a little bit to get back to you. Just because these people have a degree doesn't mean that they know or remember every single thing that they've ever learned.
right.
They see hundreds of patients a month. Like,
So we got to
you just
research.
gotta give them time. They're there to help you, and you want them to help you to the best of their ability, which might take some time sometimes.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Have you seen an increase in patients since COVID happened?
Yes, there's been a huge increase in anxiety and depression. I mean, especially during the lockdown, everybody was cooped up and couldn't get out. It was during winter months.
Scary.
Yes.
Were you scared?
Yes.
For people, I bet.
My anxiety was through the roof.
Mine was
because,
too.
I mean, I have kids, I have a husband.
And then we're guessing what, based off the guidelines, what
Yep.
we're doing. It was awful.
And obviously you were an essential employee, so that was scary.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was reading on that. I mean, the whole COVID correlation with depression, and I just have it to compare to my oldest son. He's in North Carolina for the school year with, and he got COVID. And so he's 10, and he was basically in his house at his dad's for like, it was like, I think like 4 weeks, 5 weeks. And I'm sitting there thinking, if I was a 10-year-old, imagine having to be in your house that long. So I just hope that we're on the better end of that.
Right.
You feel like we're on the better end of that?
I do, especially, and I hate to say it because, you know, schools are opening back up,
Yeah.
but people didn't realize the toll that this was taking on kids, especially younger kids.
Yes, I bet.
Well, you have a 2-year-old, I have a
Yes.
2.5-year-old. Our 2-year-olds don't know what it's like to live in a world without people wearing masks.
Right.
That I didn't think about that.
Yeah.
Mine are older. That's
Yeah,
weird.
I mean, when Reagan was like 6 months old, we didn't have to wear masks, but since then we have.
Right.
That's true.
Yeah.
So that's just an adjustment.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, when we go someplace, she's like, "Mommy, mask," and she wears a mask.
That's just her
and-
normal.
Yeah.
That's how Daylin is.
Wow.
Yeah.
See, mine are like, we don't want to wear a mask.
Yeah.
But
they
they're
never seen
used
one
to it.
before.
Yeah, that is different. So just to let people know how seeing someone in the mental health field can help them, do you generally see big improvements in your patients, or do you see a lot of people drop out of treatment?
It's about half and half, and most of the reason people drop out is because, you know, some of these medicines, they take anywhere from 6 to 8 weeks to get in your system and work, and everybody wants that instant fix, that instant pill that's going to work overnight, and as much as I would love for it to exist, it doesn't.
It doesn't. I live that with my bee pollen. People want to take it and they want to be skinny that day, you know, and so we got to work with it.
Right. So,
Yeah.
and I mean, it does take some adjustment, and if, like, say if you're a patient and something isn't working right off, you know, give it a couple weeks. If it's not working, let your provider know.
Yeah.
We're not psychic, I don't have the instant fix, I can't read your mind.
Yeah.
And most referrals and stuff come from their family doctor, so I mean,
So just be patient with yourself too.
be patient and be honest.
Yeah. That's important.
So for people who don't have health insurance or the money to pay for a doctor, what do you recommend that they do at home to help them cope through this?
So there's lots of things you can do at home, especially for anxiety. You can do deep breathing exercises. You take a deep breath in, you hold it for the count of 5, you breathe it out. Another good thing you can do is color, paint. That's great for anxiety, kind of puts your mind elsewhere. You can do, for depression, get out in the sun, get some vitamin D, get your hands dirty in some dirt, do a garden, plant some flowers. I mean,
So even if, you know, it's December and there's no sun outside, you can take vitamin supplements
Vitamin
like
D.
the vitamin D and stuff.
Mhm.
What about like B12? I've heard a lot of people.
B12 is good for anxiety. It's good for energy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that I think you can get that in capsules.
There's even sublingual.
So vitamin D, B12, all this you can just get at Walmart.
Lots of things you can do.
That's not, you know, just rely on that medication.
Right,
You
because
know.
medicine only does 50% of the work.
Yeah. That's very important.
Kayla kind of makes fun of me sometimes because I like to paint by numbers.
I find it hilarious too.
I can't paint like without the numbers. I mean, from there.
Me neither.
But it is so fun and it's relaxing
Yep.
and it is it like you feel a sense of accomplishment when you finish one.
She did such a cute one with her and Andrew. It was a picture of her and Andrew, and I thought that was adorable. We were talking about, for just a different reason, this goes into this, but we want to do an episode on de-stressing.
That's a great
Because,
one.
yes. So I was like, how do y'all de-stress? And she said, paint by numbers, and I was like, what?
And actually, I wasn't willing to tell you, Kayla.
Oh, that's right.
Rounded
That's
me
right.
out.
She did. That was hilarious. But I was like, do you really, Holly? And she sent me some pictures, and is that what you're pulling up now?
Yeah, I'm looking.
So it's
Oh, here's one that I did.
so everyone's
last
different.
weekend.
That's
a little
yeah.
Yoda.
That's super cute.
I know, right? Like that's nice. And then so you get a sense of accomplishment when you're done with it too.
Yep.
For me, de-stress, I don't know what I even do. I think I read, I pray.
Yeah, I read a lot.
I need to get back into my workout routine. I told,
There's me and Andrew.
yeah, look how precious
Oh my
that is.
gosh.
Well, Andrew actually bought me this for Valentine's Day. And I was like, oh, I don't know if I'm really gonna like it. But then now I love it. And he's like, Holly, I'm over this. I don't want to do it. So he's done two with me. He's like, you just do it. I'll watch Reagan.
See, guys are probably more, they want to go outside and do something with their hands.
Right, or like my husband
probably.
is lift on weights. He loves to lift weights. That's his thing. That's his
Outlet.
Yep.
Yeah. So I
Andrew's
felt
video
I felt much better when I actually was lifting and stuff. I just have got into a run.
Weight bearing exercises good to prevent osteoporosis.
See? Yeah. I need to get back into it. But it's just ways to kind of not have to rely on the medication. I've actually only taken anxiety medication, and I'm just going to be transparent and be real with y'all. I was never against anxiety medicine, but for me, I was like, no, I don't need that. I don't need it. Then I went through my divorce and everything last year, and I was prescribed, and I just took it for about a month, and I was like, this works.
Right.
Like, it worked, and I was like, wow. But I don't take it anymore.
It doesn't make you extra. It just makes you normal. I think people are afraid it's going to make them too much of something.
I felt like it was going to take all my emotion away, which it kind of, I had to take a very low dose because it kind of did in ways. And I know everything's different, but like I really do try to not do the medicine thing, and then I was humbled to that, and it was basically to function and not have panic attack after panic attack and everything, and it really did help me.
Right.
So it kind of gave me a different outlook. I never really judged it, but for me personally, I try to stay away from it just
Right.
because I've been around people who's abused it.
Right.
So
That can be scary.
that was super scary for me. And I mean, like, it abused it to the point where it was like really scary. So I had a different outlook on it. But now I'm like, okay, it's there for a reason. But I'm thankful to not have to take it anymore. But who knows? You never know what's around the corner. Might have to do it, you know? So.
That does worry me. Like, I've been on my medicine for about 2 years now. I did have to go through like 4 different ones, so I found the one that worked best for me. But now I'm thinking, like, what if it starts to not work? And then I have to up the dosage. And
It's not
that does worry me about, when I'm 50 and then I can't, like, there's nothing else that works, or I'm addicted to something. And I definitely don't.
As long as, I mean, she's using it
as prescribed.
as prescribed.
Yeah.
But it has a taboo. It has that feeling to it.
Yeah.
And it's not
can be
something you want to
scary.
broadcast to everybody. Be like, oh, hey, I'm on, this controlled medication.
I know.
Right.
So that's why we're being transparent with y'all right now. And we're really, like, I mean, because honestly, when we were doing this subject, I was like, yeah, I don't know about this. I'm just going to be there and ask questions and things like that, just because I do feel like it is a taboo thing, and then I don't want to be judged any more than I already am. So, but I think it's important to talk about things, and after reading through and talking with Holly about it, that gave me strength, because, we do all face different battles, and this is here. The medicine's there for a reason. And the therapy's there for a reason, and it doesn't make you weak. It's just, you're just trying to be the healthiest version of yourself.
Exactly, 100%.
Yeah.
Somebody said, what about people with addiction that runs in the family who are afraid to get on medication for mental health?
If addiction runs in the family, we try not to go automatically to a controlled substance. Me personally, I try to not prescribe controlled substances if I can get away with it. I prefer alternatives.
Mine is an alternative, so I don't need like my license to pick it up or anything.
Oh, okay.
So,
So I mean, there's a whole gamut out there that we can work with. There's even what we call a gene site test, where you do like a cheek swab, and it lets us check to see how you metabolize certain medicines. So we can kind of, it's a tool. It's not like the cure-all, see-all,
That's
end-all,
super cool.
but it helps to prevent trying 60 different medicines before seeing what works best for you.
Yes.
and if another thing, like if you can't afford to see a therapist, there are so many like online tools now that you
Right.
can use. You know, just it'll teach you breathing exercises or teach you how to journal to help work out your thoughts. And
And
just,
there's anxiety workbooks. You can get them on Amazon.
Yeah.
They're perfect.
Really?
yeah, like $10.
Yeah,
they do.
You work through it, and it helps to kind of retrain it to like a therapy workbook.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
it's
neat.
neat.
We should try to
Asking
get some of those in
questions.
here.
Yeah, it is a good idea.
That's cool. I'm all about writing little notes and
Yeah.
stuff, so that's probably something that I. And I think everybody's different. You just got to see what works for you.
Yeah.
Is there any more comments or anything, questions or anything?
No.
Okay.
No.
Oh, is it? Where are we at?
Okay.
Oh, sorry. So we're gonna play. I don't know if you'd say a game, but we try to do an interactive thing each week when we come and do our Queen's Talk. So I'm just gonna list something, and then you guys comment below, myth or fact, and then we'll go ahead and have Leslie give us her guess. So the first one is mental health does not affect everyone, just some people. Myth or
A few
fact?
minutes to like try to answer.
Has anybody said anything?
Well, there's a lag, so.
Oh,
that's true.
Yeah, that's true. We'll just roll with it. So.
I'm gonna say myth because I mean it affects everybody. Everybody goes through it at one point in time or another.
Probably even if they don't know that they're going through it.
Exactly.
I thought of that. So I thought of somebody particular in my life, and I'm thinking, if he watches this, he's gonna think, I don't have that. And I'm thinking, I'm not trying to judge, but I'm like, yeah, there's been times you have. You know, so even if you don't notice it, it's something that has either affected you or somebody, we get affected by other people too.
Yeah.
So that's a way.
Yeah, it's definitely everybody. It doesn't have to be chronic necessarily.
Right.
But just like Jenny said, she went through a divorce. It was very traumatic, and she needed help at that point. And there probably will be times later in her life she's gonna go through something, unfortunately. So everybody's, you're not above it.
You're not above it. You're not protected by it. You know, or protected from it completely.
Yeah,
right.
So fact or myth: 1 in 5 children have a mental health disorder.
Fact.
This is why, another reason why we really wanted to do this episode, it's very important to promote good health, teaching people how to take cues from their children
Yeah.
and be there for them.
So that's hard for me. So I'm like, I worry about my kids a lot. So
I bring mine in all the time and ask if he's like ADHD because he's hyper.
really.
He's not like.
Because you're just
we
trying to
know
make
it.
sure.
I'm very paranoid.
I'm paranoid about mine too, and you know, even just back to my divorce and stuff, I just worry about how that affected them and things like that. So, I need to probably. So that's hard for me to see that that's a fact. 1 in 5 children have a mental health disorder. Is that usually? It's not just environmental. It can be Biological,
hereditary.
okay. Yeah. All right. Fact or myth? 1 person dies from suicide every minute.
Myth. It's like more like every 30 to 40 seconds, and it's even higher if you're a veteran. If it's a veteran, I want to say every 12 seconds.
That's really sad. Like that is such a topic that's near and dear to my heart. I've lost people that are close to me to suicide, and that's one main reason I feel like we need to be aware of our mental health, because that is terrifying.
Right. And anyone is susceptible to it. Everyone is susceptible. I mean, there's not a like diagnostic criteria. It's not like, oh, hey, they're 5'10", brown hair, blue eyes, they're more apt to commit suicide. Anybody.
It does not
Any age.
discriminate. That's the word I was looking
Yes.
for earlier. It doesn't
Yeah.
discriminate. And so that's really important that we just work to try to take care of the people around us so it never gets to that point. Because I'll tell you from experience, If you've lived lived through a death of a suicide, somebody committing suicide that you love, it is unlike losing anybody to anything else.
Right.
It is not like, and I'm not trying to, compare the deaths, but it's like something that you feel like you could have done something to prevent.
And one of my patients reached out to me on her appointment. She said, "I feel like Robin Williams,"
Oh.
and it really caught me off guard.
So it just puts you on high alert instantly.
Yeah, so like we changed some medicine, very intense therapy, very intense appointments, like twice a week.
And we can't take that, we can't take that lightheartedly. You gotta be
Right.
on it. So that's Robin Williams. That blew my mind.
Yeah.
And that just goes to show you can have money, you can have fame, you can have humor. That dude was hilarious.
You
Or
can
just
have it
like
all.
Britney Spears or the owner of Kate Spade. She committed
Britney
suicide.
Spears.
Well, she just always has
Mental.
issues.
Yeah.
The hair shaving and
Right.
this or that. She's on
I
that
feel like it would be
conservatorship.
super hard to be a celebrity.
Right, because you're always under the microscope.
Yes, and everybody's judging, everybody thinks that they want something from you, so that's just awful. That is just awful. I hate to hear of anybody that happened to anybody, just because I have seen it firsthand, and it is absolutely devastating to the family and to everybody, and I'll be honest, in my, one of my situations, I felt like I could have prevented it, and then I had to accept that I couldn't.
Yep.
So you go through a lot with that, so we want to try to protect everybody from that.
Fact or myth, people with mental health disorders tend to be more violent and unpredictable than those who are not affected chronically.
Myth.
That surprised me. So, we ran through this earlier. What was it that you said that is?
Schizophrenia you can have a higher tendency because they're very impulsive, but that doesn't necessarily hold true.
Wow, that's interesting. All right. All right, fact or myth. Mental disorders are a personality characteristic flaw, and they can snap out of it if they try hard enough.
100% myth. It is a biological chemical imbalance. Most of these medicines, they work on serotonin, which is your happy chemical.
Oh, that reminds me, whenever I finished my master's, I got a tattoo of the element serotonin.
I wondered why he did what that meant. I knew it was serotonin, but
Yeah.
so it's that background, just learning about it.
Yeah.
Huh. That's interesting.
So whenever people think that, like, oh, if it's a chemical imbalance, why is it sporadic? Why is it not chronic? Well, because, like in your instance, you had something very traumatic happen to you in your marriage, and it basically made those chemical things react.
So
Yeah,
the bad chemicals or the good ones?
the bad ones.
So they just start. So it's like
They kind of overpower your good ones.
Yeah.
So, and you're going to think you're going to have like these highs and lows.
Yeah.
Everybody has highs and lows. But something traumatic, you're going to have this
The
sudden
spike,
release.
basically.
Yeah.
So like, and your body's overwhelmed, but that's what panic attacks come into, and in a worse situation, suicidal thoughts and things like that.
And people, when I was in high school, I had panic attacks all the time, and I never thought that it had anything to do with anxiety. It took me until I was in college to realize, oh, like, that's why that was happening.
Yeah,
Right.
and those are awful. Like I never experienced panic attacks. I did. I think whenever Michael committed suicide, I did. And then I hadn't until I was in a situation in my marriage and all this and that. And panic attacks are debilitating. And I just felt like you're something on your chest, you can't breathe, and it's just awful. And I just can't imagine dealing with that, especially younger. And that's why I worry about my kids. I'm like, gosh, I just want to make sure that they're fine. I didn't struggle with that as a kid. It was more as an adult, and they're scary.
Right. And then you got to think at the same time, look at the cyberbullying. We didn't have that growing up.
I know.
We did good to have internet.
I know, we do that too. Adults cyberbully though too.
Yes.
But yes, and then imagine, I thought about that with the kids, and then we want to see how many likes we get, and just constant communication.
Yeah.
So I'm worried. I probably need to. And with what they, that's why my son's in North Carolina. I'll talk about this on a later episode that we've got planned. But that's why he's in North Carolina, is because I was trying to make sure that he was safe mentally, and this was a public thing, and people were mean, and he was about to go back to school, so we moved to North Carolina. And so watching him he is a very emotional person, and I'm worried for him. So like as I'm listening, I'm like, I just hope that he cares a lot what people think, and he really did love, you know, my ex, and so I worry about him because I feel like as adults we're more resilient, and then I'm worried for him.
But kids are more resilient than what we think.
Yeah. I just worry about the mental things with him because he did lash out, and he's not watching this, but he did lash out and he had anger, and he's one of the sweetest people ever, and I'm thinking, oh my gosh, you know, but I definitely want to put him on medication. Yeah, I thought about that.
And the good thing is I know being like 8, that doesn't seem like it's that young, but it is young.
Right.
So when he gets older, it's going to be a very faint memory for him.
Right.
Oh, like whenever it all happened. Yeah, I hope. I mean, I know the twins, they probably won't hardly remember it, but I worry more about him, and you know, we got to protect our kids. We got to be paying attention what's going on, and I don't know. He's got my heart, and he cares a lot about things, and that was very, very, very traumatic. You know?
I'm sure some people watching are like, what are you guys talking about? What did Jenny go through? And that's something really personal that she will maybe talk about at a later date. She's not ready to talk about it now, so just don't text her and ask her about it, please.
Yeah. It's just I worry about Dane. That's the only reason I brought it up, because I just see differences in him, but he's pushing through, and he'll be alright with that.
And he's loving North Carolina.
He is. He really is.
There's a lot of opportunities there.
There is, and his dad his dad lives there, and his stepmom, I couldn't ask for a better person in my kid's life, or a better father for my son, and there's happy things.
He has his brothers there that he never got to spend time with.
Hardly ever, yeah, and then she's, his stepmom's she's pregnant, so they're about to have a little girl. There's things, but it's hard just because, well, then he got COVID and this and that. There's Tanya. Oh, I thought we had the door locked. But anyways, moving forward, where are we on our,
let's see. Okay, fact or myth, mental illness can be recovered from by proper treatment. It is not something that you have to live with forever.
That is a fact.
A lot of people think, well, like Jenny, she is a survivor from it. Her level spiked, she did what she needed to do, and now she's cured. And it could happen again, obviously, but with proper treatment, you can overcome it.
Absolutely.
It's not one of those start medicine, be on it until you die. It doesn't work that way.
Right. Yeah, you want to try to, and I'm not shaming medicine, I hope that didn't come off that way, but I was scared of it, just because, like the lady on the comments just said, it's a scary thing, and I didn't want, and I'll be honest, I kind of paired it together like somebody drooling on themselves. I know that sounds crazy, but that's what I've seen.
Yeah, you think it's going to numb you so bad.
That you're like completely not even there, but then I didn't have that experience, but I did take it prescribed, actually took half of mine, because that's how sensitive I am to stuff like that, but and it did help. So, and you know, I'm in a very good spot in my life, and while I was in it, for months, I mean, you can attest to this.
Well, there were nights whenever I was like, do you need to go to your mom's house? Like, she should come to my house, you shouldn't go home alone.
Yeah, but I got through it pretty fast because, you know, I wanted to be at my home with my kids. I wanted a normal life again. But it happened faster than what I thought it would too.
It did.
So there's that. But all right. So fact or myth: globally, over $1 trillion are lost in productivity in a year due to depression and anxiety.
At least. That's a fact.
Yes. That we can attest to that here.
Yeah, I feel like we've talked about this part with Jenny a lot. When she went through this thing, this omnibus thing that we're not telling you happened.
Everybody already knows it's probably.
It was on your Facebook. What if it's Queen Bee customers?
That's true. Yeah. You're right.
We saw our numbers like here at the hive go
Woo!
down. And I don't know if you remember, but like right after Christmas, Jenny even posted a video like, I don't know if the hive's going to be here in a month. Like it's not good.
Numbers were bad. Yeah.
And then she met Paul. She got happy. She started living her life again, and we're doing better than ever now.
Yeah, like we're growing. We're moving to a bigger building, so that just shows you right there that is a fact, because it's hard to work when you're depressed. It's hard to work when you have anxiety. We got bills to pay. We got to push through it. and I was just basically on autopilot. But when I actually started to get myself balanced back out is when I really thrived.
Yep.
You know, so that's important. It's take care of yourself, and if you keep putting it off, it's gonna get worse.
Yep.
And I mean,
I
like,
feel like that's something moms probably do, like they're not taking care of themselves, they're
Oh.
thinking of,
We always put ourselves on the back burner as
Yeah.
a mom.
and you can't.
Yes. That's a big one. Self care with that, because you can't take care of everybody to your the full potential if you're not well yourself.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's what we're just trying to help, you know, bring awareness to this very,
Taboo topic.
yes, and it's so common.
Yes.
And so we're just wanting to help you guys know that there are resources out there, and you're not alone. And I think, what time is it, guys? All right, we got tanning customers coming, so we'll wrap this up real fast.
Heather Kennedy said, "You're an amazing woman, and you set a great example to lead and motivate." I guess that was to me.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you all.
She does.
Everybody here is. Thank you very much, Heather.
So just to wrap it up real quick, our next one was, I can't do anything to help my friend or family member suffering, they need to see a medical professional.
That is a myth. There's lots of, as a friend or family member, that you can do. I mean, reach out, let them vent, get them out in the sun. That'll help with their depression. Just be there for them.
Also, educate
Yeah,
yourself, just something I got off the internet. It says, like, learn and share facts about mental health. That way, if you hear something that's untrue, you can correct it. Treat them with respect, don't judge them. And refuse to ever use a label or call them crazy, because that makes them feel so much worse. They're not crazy, they are a normal person experiencing normal human emotions.
And there's chemicals. I mean, it's not just mind over matter, it's
Right.
chemicals. That's a big thing for me, because I'm like, what? I'm a mind over matter person, to be honest.
Now, we do mind over matter.
Yeah,
Which
I
Which
am.
is a big one, that's basically what therapy is.
Right, but it's just, so when you're a mind over matter person, you're thinking, why am I so weak? What is wrong with me? I remember thinking that. And I'm like, come on, just turn it off. And it's not that
not that
easy.
simple.
It's not that easy sometimes. Well, this really touched my heart. Like I said, this was really, I was gonna be here. I wouldn't let y'all down. But I was gonna be like, just try to share as minimal as possible. And I'm glad that we got to talk about this. This really helped touch my heart, and it was really great to meet you.
Same. And like, one of the big things is, you know, if you don't jive with your provider, find somebody you do. Like, a lot of things, like, my patients tell me is, hey, you know, you're easy to talk to. And I'm
You
just
are. Like, I
That's
love
right.
your vibe. I
That's
love.
what I was gonna say, like, she's so normal, it's not like a hoity-toity, I'm a
And
doctor.
she's
Yeah.
You're awesome. You really are. And I feel like I can talk to you. And I think that might have been why I felt like I could open up and we could open up. Don't you
Yeah,
think?
definitely.
So I really appreciate that.
And
And we
listen,
need.
9 times out of 10, if you see me, I'm like scrub pants, t-shirt, hair's a mess, and no makeup. That's just me. I'm real.
Right. Yeah, you
That's
are.
what
You're
people
down there.
want, yeah.
I love it. So really fast, highlight, very simple. Instead of doing the traditional showing you products, what we're gonna do, Holly put together, it's to receive $10 off any purchase. Just go on thebboutiques.com and use promo code Health Matters. So we'll post that again and share that out. I'm sure this was a long one. I know that it's just very it's very important, and we have a lot to cover. So
And if you're in store, you can come in Monday, and any purchase 25 or over, they'll automatically take $10 off for you.
oh yeah, okay. Is it today and Monday?
Yeah.
Today and Monday. So today we're open 1 to 3. I'll actually be here till like 3:30. Then I'm going to get me a massage, y'all.
You know?
I need it. This job, other job, not this job, love this job. The other job's killing me. So yes, but I really appreciate you guys. All right. We'll see you later.